Both the Lexus RX and Volvo XC60 are slowly becoming the go-to choice in the luxury SUV world, but they are taking very different paths to get there. While the RX literally invented this segment, its 2026 redesign proves that Lexus knows exactly when to stick to a winning formula and not fix what's not broken. At the same time, the XC60 remains Volvo's bread and butter in the US with a refreshed 2026 model that's just impossible to find offensive with its Scandinavian look. But which one is actually a better buy? Well, in this video we'll compare the designs inside and out, pricing and how they drive. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. The 2026 Volvo XC60 is a mild redesign since the exterior saw the least amount of change. The front fascia is pretty much identical to last year's model with the same iconic Thor's Hammer LED headlights. The grille, however, has been updated with a sleek crosshatch design reflecting the recent updates made to the bigger XC90. From the side, two massive creases at the bottom of the doors enhance its muscular proportions, while the side windows are framed with either shiny chrome or gloss black accents, which complements the car overall look. Around back, Volvo's signature LED taillights extend vertically along the rear pillars with a new darker look. The tailgate is handsomely sculpted and integrates a spoiler for added sportiness, while the rest remains unchanged. The 2026 Lexus RX, on the other hand, takes a different approach to how an SUV should look. For one, it's significantly longer than the XC60, 8 inches to be exact, which makes it look less SUV-like. The updated Lexus styling is more cohesively applied to a body that looks like it was meant for them from the beginning. The most noticeable change is the spindle grille. This design element has always been polarizing, particularly the bulging transition from the more upright lower section of the grille to the hood, which can seem a bit awkward. The silhouette again is even less SUV-like now. Although its ground clearance is over 8 inches and the overall height only 0.4 inches lower than before, the new RX sure looks lower than the XC60, even when both set at around 66 inches in overall height. A massive LED light bar lines the rear end with a new Lexus road mark stretched across the trunk lid, and the lower portion of the bumper now features a smoother wave-like design that blends polished metal and plastic into one cohesive look. Overall, the XC60 always looked good, and it continues to be a timeless look, but at least personally, I think the Lexus gets the win here. Jumping inside, Volvo's Swedish heritage is reflected in its stylish, welcoming interiors. And while the overall design hasn't seen an overhaul with the steering wheel, gauges, and gear shifter being the same as another Volvo's, the rest has been revised. The dashboard has a cool 3-layer design that wraps around into the doors, making the whole cabin feel warm and cozy. There are new interior trim options, and the standout is definitely the navy herringbone design you see here. This subtle yet stylish pattern feels like a tailored suit. What's even cooler, the seat material is made from recycled polyethylene, which is hard to believe considering the plushness of the surfaces. Now, on the tech side, nothing dates a car faster than its infotainment system, and the XC60's 9-inch display was starting to give off yesteryear vibes, so Volvo has installed a new 11.2-inch screen. The larger display doesn't quite fit into the same spot in the dash, so it's mounted as a freestanding unit, but it works just fine. Climate control functions are found along the bottom just like the old model. A 12.3-inch gauge cluster is standard, and it can display maps from both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The RX's cabin, on the other hand, is eons better than it was, even if it can't match the classiness of the XC60. The dashboard adopts a more distinct two-tier design with a wraparound upper edge that seamlessly connects with the door panels. The resulting recess houses the available ambient lighting. A clearer console design with a smaller shifter and no more trackpad makes things feel less cluttered while ditching most of the ancient buttons for a larger touchscreen with fewer knobs. Where the Lexus outshines the Volvo, however, is in material quality. There is lots of leather, real aluminum around the vents and steering wheel, and even a suede-like texture on the door panels in the same shade as the seats. As for infotainment, standard on the base and premium trim is a 9.8-inch screen, but the rest of the trim runs a massive 14-inch display. Unlike the Volvo, physical rotary dials on either side of the screen handle the climate duties, while a smaller dial below the screen is for volume. The interface itself is easy to use with standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. New for 2026 is a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, putting it in line with what Volvo offers in the XC60. As for passenger and cargo space, Lexus makes some great seats, and these handsome leather buckets fit the driver and front passengers like a glove thanks to excellent power adjustability in addition to ample head and legroom. Rear seat passengers enjoy slightly increased legroom at 37.4 inches, and a pair of rear passengers will have plenty of space despite a tall driver up front. Depending on trim, heated and ventilated seats are available in both rows. Cargo space is average for the class, with a pretty good 29.6 cubes with the seats up. Fold them down and you get a pretty low for the class 46.2 cubic feet. As for the XC60, space inside is fairly similar to the Lexus. The driver can enjoy a comfortable multi-adjustable seat in Volvo's wool textile. The cabin's dimensions remain unchanged, so it still offers competitive interior space. There is plenty of headroom both front and back, and people at the back will enjoy a comfortable ride with 38 inches of rear legroom, just shy of an inch more than in the RX. The XC60 is one of the most spacious compacts out there when it comes to cargo, swallowing 29.7 cubic feet with the seats up. Fold the 40-20-40 second row down and you get an impressive 63.3 cubes, 17 cubic feet more than in the Lexus RX. When it comes to pricing, the 2026 RX 350 starts at around $52,300. The Premium Plus is the one to go for, however, as it comes standard with the 14-inch screen, leather interior, ambient lighting, and 21-inch wheels. The hybrid powertrain is also the one we would recommend you go for, and it costs an extra $2,300 on top of any trim level you choose. The XC60 is slightly cheaper, starting at just over $51,000. The core trim is surprisingly well equipped and even comes standard with a panoramic roof, a $500 extra on the RX. But the one to get is the Plus trim at $55,700, and it includes 19-inch wheels, a 360-degree camera system, front and rear parking sensors, and adaptive cruise control with lane keep and assist. The fully loaded Black Edition costs $62,200. When it comes to driving and handling, the 2026 RX is brand new from the ground up, adapting the same TNGA platform variant as every front-drive Toyota and Lexus, which means it shares its mechanical DNA with the RAV4 and Sienna. Volvo shoppers may snicker at that, but ultimately, the RX enjoys the same improvements in way of sharper response to inputs, greater composure on uneven pavement, and provides a driving position that's more sitting in than sitting upon. The RX 350h also now boasts a quieter and more refined iteration of Toyota's familiar hybrid powertrain setup. It includes a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, two motors up front that helps power the wheels and vehicle accessories, and a third motor at the rear axle to create all-wheel drive by kicking in when front wheel slippage is detected. As for the XC60, Volvo offers two different powertrains, B5 mild hybrid and the T8 plug-in hybrid model. Under the hood of the base B5 is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a 48-volt hybrid system making 247 horsepower. The plug-in hybrid T8 powertrain borrows the B5's engine and pairs it with a set of electric motors for a total of 455 horsepower. On the road, the XC60 isn't quite as composed as Volvo's other 60 and 90 series offerings. Its larger optional wheels can significantly degrade ride quality, especially in areas with bad pavement, and its base suspension gets unsettled on uneven roads. The takeaways from this should be other Volvos are better to drive and most competitors handle better, and especially when you compare it to the RX, which is smooth and much more comfortable to drive, and the agent platform underpinning this XC60 starts to show its weaknesses. Another big thing the Lexus got against the Volvo is its exceptional fuel economy for a midsize SUV. 36 mpg combined or 10 mpg better than the XC60. One downside, however, is bulky acceleration. The 0-60 time officially is 7.4 seconds versus the Volvo 6.5, and it feels even slower when motoring onto the highway due to the gravelly naturally aspirated engine and droning CVT. Basically, it's what you'd expect from a hybrid. So, which one should you choose? Well, this is a tough one, because I really like the Lexus RX on the outside, but I absolutely adore the inside of the Volvo XC60, especially compared to the overall darker feel of the Lexus. But when it comes to refinement and comfort, it's an easy win for the 2026 RX. So if you can get past its cabin drawbacks, then the Lexus is the way to go.